Jane Hope Hamilton, you ran the then candidate Joe Biden's campaign in Texas back in 2020. First of all, your reaction to the fact that President Biden announced today he is stepping aside and not running for re-election, and that he endorsed his Vice President Kamala Harris for the top job.
Well, look, first of all, I have to say that, in our modern history, President Biden has been the most transformational president that we have seen. His list of accomplishments go on and on. And so I am proud of the work that he has done. I first want to say that I am proud to have been a part of helping to get him elected. And I'm also proud of Vice President Harris. And so I'm excited about her nomination. And as far as I'm concerned, we are ready to go.
And I was just going to say, so you're fully endorsing her.
Absolutely. No questions.
And why do you think she's the best?
Well, first of all, we have to look at the fact that, serving as vice president and for the duration right now of President Biden's first term, she's been there. She now has the experience. She knows what it means to serve at that level. She's capable, she's talented, and I trust that she can lead our country. And when we look at the alternative, which is Trump, I cannot imagine 4 years under Trump. And so to me, there's no question about it. Their records look very different. And frankly, I just have to say that obviously the worst nightmare for Trump is yet another prosecutor.
And so let me ask you about that. Because there seems to be some confusion as to how the process is going to work going forward.
Correct.
So I'm wondering if there is a open process and it is not Vice President Harris who will be at the top of the ticket. In other words, there would be another candidate. How big of a problem is that going to be for some in the Democratic Party?
While Vice President Kamala Harris cannot take for granted that she will just get the nomination, there is no scenario that I can imagine. She does have a track record. She is best to serve at this time. She's prepared to serve at this time. And frankly, right now, I would be very surprised if Kamala Harris's team and Biden's team jointly were not on the phone, calling delegates, talking to donors. I mean, that is what is happening at this time. Make no mistake about it. So in terms of a candidate that is ready to serve, she is the best nominee that we could possibly have. And in terms of someone who is probably working right now, calling delegates and calling donors, she's first in line. So that would mean that the party would need to pass her up. And that is a scenario that would be, frankly, disastrous.
And I saw that there was already paperwork filed with the Federal Election Commission in which the Biden for President campaign has amended that to now the Harris for President campaign. And so what does that say to you?
What that says is that Biden is 100% backing Kamala with the organization that he has, which obviously allotted him as the nominee. And so he is putting and helping to provide Kamala Harris with the machine that he has, that he's built when he ran for president, and that he has earned while serving as president. And that is no small gesture. So, it's one thing to say that you support someone. It's another thing to give your full endorsement, your money and your machine. And that is what we're seeing Biden actually doing right now. And so, for someone to be able to compete against that is highly unlikely.
And I've heard various Republicans say, and I think Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance has already said it, they're going to prosecute the case against Kamala Harris just as they did against President Biden, as far as when it comes to inflation that we saw in 2022, as far as the conditions at the southern border and the record numbers of people who were entered illegally into the country. And so How does a now top of the ticket presidential nominee, Kamala Harris, if it in fact is her, go about and answering those questions and fighting back?
It's ridiculous, right? What we're talking about is a debate of lies versus facts. And this is the strongest economy that we have seen in a record number of years. There's no question about that. The way we came out of COVID, we came out stronger. There's no question about that. Unemployment, the rates that we're looking at right now with unemployment being down, I mean, anybody would be proud to run as a nominee in terms of where we are in this country and the wins that we have. So I would expect that we will hear more from the Trump and Vance ticket of misinformation and dishonesty. But we are prepared for that and nothing changes. And look, we will all be able to really see firsthand how Trump is going to handle a debate stage with Kamala Harris. And what I have to say about that is he has never in his life been so underprepared for that moment. So we're ready to go. We're stronger than ever, and game on.
And just my last question, that is just to follow up. As far as the economy is concerned, what is the proper answer to the fact that a lot of people are just unhappy about the high prices still at the stores, grocery store, and the fact, insurance has gone up, a lot has gone up in price.
Well, that's, we are in a capitalistic society, right? And so in many cases, even though corporations were down and, jobs were down, in America, frankly, I mean, people take advantage of the system. And so when they were back up, they raised prices. That is something that Biden has been talking about is his plan, an actual plan to bring down inflation, to bring down the cost of prescription drugs. He's talked about capping the cost of drugs for people who have diabetes. And that same plan that Biden has talked about as he has campaigned, I am more than sure that we're going to be hearing more of that. And that is a plan that is the Biden Harris plan. And so that plan obviously will be what we're going to hear from for Harris. What I'd like to know is what is the Trump Vance plan on bringing down inflation and on reducing some of these high prices that we are seeing, because we haven't heard that yet. And as far as I know, the people who are raising these prices are their buddies. So I'd love to hear what their plans are. And, we await to hear some of their responses on that as well. But, in terms of what Harris will do, the Biden Harris ticket, in many ways is still the Biden Harris ticket. Obviously, Harris is going to have to choose a VP nominee, but we do have a path to address some of these issues, all of these issues. And I'm quite sure that Harris will do an amazing job in articulating that plan going forward.
Jane Hope Hamilton, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.